Hey guys, welcome to Tiny House Customs. I'm Dan. In this video I'm going to show you how to frame an interior wall. If you ever watched the Netflix documentary called Tiny, I love it. I probably watched it like 15 or 20 times. It's one of my favorite videos to watch. But he ran into a problem when he was framing his interior wall. He didn't know what to do, kinda. And I always think about that. It's really basic, simple stuff. It's not a structural wall, so you don't have to put any structural headers in it. You don't need to put jacks if you don't want to. This wall is literally just a thing to hold the material that you decide to use on your walls. So I'm going to frame it. The hardest part on this project is putting in your top plate, because you need to have backing for the sheeting that you put on the ceiling, whatever you want to put on this. I'm going to be doing tongue and groove beetle kill pine, and so I need something to hold the end of the board. So I need a 2x6 on the flat running flush with the bottom of these rafters, and then I'll put my 2x4 plate onto there. So let's get started. So I have these pieces of wood, which were the wall for the other side when I had my bathroom over there. I've got these blocks which need to get installed up there, and they should be cut to the distance in between the two rafters. So I think it's 15 and something. No, it's not. It's like, they should be 14.5 inches, but they're not. Skill level 10. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to cut. So I need to cut some 2x4 blocks for in between these rafters, and it should be 1.5 inches less than 16 inches, so 14.5 inches. Just gonna check both sides to make sure they're both the same. This is skill level 10, by the way, on tape measure skillage. Look what I got. It's a Rode Microphone Pro. I've spent over $1,000 on audio equipment. This is the new bad boy. This is for when I do like interview type stuff, like with 2 people. That was expensive. I got the dead cat on it. $280 altogether out the door with the cat, and it's nice. Really could use a nail puller. I have one, I just don't want to get it. Stop hitting the door. Now we pull nails for days. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Okay, kids? That drink is gonna get... Ow! Fuck! Little blood, guys. Remember, we love small amounts of blood. Need to get a Tetris shot. I mean, I'm just gonna get lockjaw, which would be great. I mean, that would make me eat less food. It makes sense. I think there's benefits. This hammer I use is a 16 or 18 inch Stiletto TB2 15 ouncer. Now this is one of the most expensive hammers you can buy in the market. I mean, there's some that are carbon fiber and costs more than this, but from the research I did, this was hands down the best hammer you could ever buy, and it is about $250 to $300 depending on the time of year and where you buy it from. But this little V notch that's right here is probably the best feature on the hammer. Just take it, place it over a head on a nail, and instead of pulling a nail like this and struggling, this gives you more leverage. You just roll the hammer and it pops the nail right out. Well, that was a bad demonstration. You just hook the nail on that little V, and then you can just roll the hammer and it'll pop the nail right out. Sometimes it comes out flinging, so I like to put my hand there and go slow at the ends, especially because I got a window right there. This hammer is all titanium, and it's poured inside of a vacuum. You know, it's so much easier doing it that way versus doing it that way. That was really easy. It's never that easy to do that. That's a better. Now these 2 pieces, this will become my backing, and this will become my top plate. So now I just need 3 blocks at 14.5 inches. It's getting hot. I'm getting hot. I gotta disrobe. So right now I'm gonna take the insulation from that other wall that I just took out, and I'm gonna put it up in here. So I want to make sure my insulation runs all the way into that fascia board, all the way out to the outside, on both ends. Sorry, you're talking to my back, or we're backing it, but then I just need to cut a new piece for the center here. Personally, I don't think you need to be very precise with this stuff. It's pretty flexible. Why you not fit like glove? Here, I make you fit like glove. Now this insulation is a 2x4 insulation. I will have a gap here that I'll have to fix later, but for right now this is good. This will work. So these blocks are going to hold that 2x6. You want these 2x4s to be 1.5 inches above the bottom of the rafter. So if you just take your block, hold it flush, hope I didn't break it, and just put a reference mark there on both sides. That way you know that this block's going to go 1.5 inches above that. Then I'll notch this insulation out. That works good. Then stick this up into there. Then I'll hold it the bottom of this block right on that line that I made. Oh, one thing I forgot to add about this hammer is why would you spend $200 and something on a hammer like this? I'd framed professionally for 10 years, did this type of work for 10 years, and I would break 1 to 2 hammers a year. I used a Vaughn fiberglass shaft. It was a great hammer. I loved it, but it always detached from the top here. I did figure out a way to fix it later in my career, but I had already thrown out, 10 hammers. And at $30 to $40 a hammer, I figured if I bought a hammer that was indestructible and spent $250, that would be a good thing, You ever watch Wrangler Star? He spends like $600 on a pair of boots. It's because they're indestructible and they last for long times. Long times. All right, so I'm just going to fix this insulation so that it's flush with the bottom of that 2x4. This is shabby looking work I'm doing here. And so I'm going to install 3 of those blocks. I mean, I want one about 8 inches from the ends of both walls and then one in the middle. If you had a longer span, then you'd need to put in more. But 3 to 4 feet on those blocks is good, acceptable. I've been using my shower for 2 days now without it hooked up to anything, and it's been a pain in the arse. Oh, golly. You got to remember you put stuff on your top of your ladder. Safety police, where were you? I could have used you there. Come on, guys. You always yell at me for stupid stuff. Okay, that's good. OSHA? I mean, it'll be alright. 3 legs. Instead of doing that line, I'm just taking an 1.5 inch block, putting it up here, so that's flush. I know I can nail that side. So from this wall, I can measure over 32 inches, and then I'm going to come back 1 inch so that my 2x6 ends up in the center of this. This doesn't need to be dead nuts. Oh shit, I needed you so bad in my life. It wasn't even funny how much I needed you. Do I got another one nearby? Kinda do. And I don't have a fucking knife. Come on, can we not work at all today? Okay, how about we just take the day off? Sounds good. See ya. Okay, I guess I can go back to work. 31 inches. So you could snap that if you wanted to. I think this is gonna be good enough since this isn't like a straight edge or anything. We'll hold it good on that line. Tack there. Oh god, that hit the tub. Tack there. Nail it up. 2 nails on an angle, so you got better holding. Now this 2x6 that I just installed should be perfectly flush with the bottoms of these. So my trim that goes on the ceiling will end up being able to connect to this. Now I'm going to measure over 32 and whatever this width is down here. I went like 3/16 because I wanted a little wiggle room in there. So I'm going to measure over 32 and 3/16, and that'll make this wall level. There's no reason to use a level when you know your walls are already level. You can just pull your measurements off of a pre-existing wall. 32 and 3/16. And since this wall matters, I'm going to snap this. I should probably put the line there first before I go. I can't see if there's problems. No problem. So this is the top plate that I had over there. It's ugly looking. It's got nails and stuff. I'm going to try to hide it so you don't see it. Now, I didn't cut these on an angle that it should be in because it doesn't matter. You could get all huffy-puffy about that and make sure that these are on the right angles and cut a piece to the long point up top to a short point, but there's no reason to do it. This is just to connect material in. So if it's not running perfect, it's not going to be a big deal. You could even make this thing shorter than it already is. Compressor's going to turn on any second. Some gut. Good. So I got that line snapped. Make sure I got backing on both sides. It's close enough. Alright, so I have my top plate installed and it's got backing on both sides. That's good. I've already installed a piece of backing here, a flat 2x6 on edge. so that when I nail this 2x4 on here, I'll have backing on both sides of that. I've got what I need over there, and I've already nailed my bottom plate. So now I can start cutting in my studs. I'm going to do the two sides first, and then I've got basically a box, and then I just got to fill it in with the studs. On this side, I'm not going to run studs every 16 inches on center because there's no need for it. Again, this is not a structural wall, and all I really need is something to hold this thing at the correct location and to hold my shower head. So I'll put one stud here, and then I'll do an L with another stud on flat so I can screw this into it. And then I will do two 2x4s running horizontal like this to connect these pieces into it. On this side, I'm going to do 3 studs. Yeah, Mark and bird and. I always set like unreasonable expectations for my goals. Is that good or bad? Like I never reach my goal of the day. Never. I always set higher goals and I can never reach them. It's always worked for me. I don't get upset when I don't reach the goal. It's like wishful thinking. Hopefully I can get there. I don't. Oh gosh. Am I clear? Oh boy. Something's gonna break. There's a lot of expensive stuff in here right now too. Okay, the door has been taken out of the equation. Oh god. And then the camera's probably my most prized possession. You know, surprisingly, this whole remodel that I'm doing, the most expensive part for the remodel has been the lumber. I spent, right now, about $160 on lumber to redo all this and that, what's future projects coming up. But I got all the lumber I need, I think. Plumbing, I spent 90 to 100, no 80. And then nails, the framing nails were 50 bucks. It adds up. Vodka, $20. Hello, Peanut, come here. I'm not coming inside, dude. It's a trap. I've been there all day. This sucks being inside. Come here. Peanut. Hi, love. Hello. Dude, you're weird. You love it? Come here. You love it? Oh, love life. All right. I got the sweetest doghouse on the blocks. I'm going to figure out what angle that was. I'm going to watch some of my videos. That's one thing I like about my my videos is that I can go back and see how I did things. Once I'm done doing something, I just forget it. I erase it from my brain and I worry about the next thing. I'm always 3 months ahead of where I'm actually at, trying to envision what's happening. Doesn't always work out that way, but I was like a 7-point-something degree. Framing the gable end is going to be the video that has it. Mock and bird and. I've got like 150 videos now. Oh, it takes forever to go back into my videos and find one.
So my gable end has an overhang on it. And
0 dislikes. Where you at, trolls? Shut up. You're annoying. Shut up.
Hi, Butter.
Hi, Butter.
Hello.
This guy is weird, man. Fucking talks to his dog.
Out of that 7 degrees now. It's 7.16. So I'm just going to
7.16. So, there's my angle. That didn't take long. This is where it gets tricky. Since I'm working on an angle and it's not all straight up wall, I've got to cut everything on a long point. My next video, I'm going to show you how to make custom curtains out of a bath towel. I was trying to help with the lighting because I noticed that I got overexposure on some of these videos because there was too much light. So these 2 end studs are going to be pretty easy to figure out the lengths. I'm just going to measure up from the bottom plate to where these 2 intersect. 99 1/4. Lowe's, your material sucks. It's really, really, really bad. Now that length is the long point, so I want my saw to cut from this direction. If I were to cut from this direction, it would make it the short point. So pay attention. So I bought my 2x4s from Big Box Store, and a lot of them have some really bad crowns and bows in them. So I'm going to try to use the really bad ones where they get nailed into something solid, so I can straighten them using this wall. So I don't know what I'm doing for my door here yet. I kind of feel like I want to do a curtain, but I kind of feel I might need a door. I don't know. If I do put a door, it's going to open like this. And if I do a door, then I will have to either modify something or custom make something. So right now I'm just gonna frame something that's 25.5. That'll end up giving me about a 2-foot door. So I'm gonna cut this bottom plate back. This one I kind of like where it's at. This gives me room to do stuff here. Cut this. So I'm just gonna do 2 studs on this side. So I'm just gonna measure over where they go. I have 28 and 5/8. So I got those numbers, and now I'm just gonna transfer them up onto here. I butt into this stud, the same thing I did down there. 4 and 8. Now it doesn't matter if you do measure your long point or short point. You just need to keep that in mind when you're cutting your studs. So I'll measure this one. It's gonna be my long point at 92 1/4. So I figured both these to the short point. How many times are you going to repeat the same thing you just said? So I want to cut these in the opposite direction. Don't try this at home, okay, kids? Oh God, I'm going to die. Since I need to put 2 nails in from this direction, it's going to drive this over. So I'm just going to cheat this out about 1/8 inch. When I shoot these nails, it's going to drive it over. A little fine tuning. I'll put one on each side here. Did your mom drop you on your head numerous times? Make sure I'm flush on both sides. Oh shit, I almost died there. Now sometimes your stud's going to end up being a little short. Now this is not a structural wall. There's nothing, no weight on this. So if I keep a gap there, it's not going to be in the world. Yes, it looks like crap and all that good stuff, but it's really not that big of a deal. Hardly noticeable. It's slightly claustrophobic. Now I need a 2x4 on the flat right here. It doesn't need to run all the way up, and since I got all this scrap from when I did the demo earlier, I'm gonna use it. Now this, I'm just gonna make an L out of it basically. And this is gonna hold in my, it's also gonna screw me later because I'm gonna do my lights here and that's gonna be in the way. So on this side, I don't really need any more studs. Since I'm using 3/4 inch tongue and groove on these walls, there's no need to have that extra strength inside this wall. That 3/4 is gonna be fine spanning this distance personally. I don't think, I mean, you could punch it and put a hole through it probably, and it will bow in a little bit, but there's no need for it. And since this is going here, if I put a 2x4, I'd have to put 2 more. It would add $10 to this project. Of course, people are gonna hate on me. That's fine. I love me some haters. So what I'm gonna do is just install 2 blocks here and here, which will hold the shower nozzle and thingamajiggy. 32 7/8. Reduce, reuse, and recycling. It's happening here, guys. So on the back of this thing, there's 2 screw holes for screws to get this thing mounted in. If you mount a 2x4 flush on this side, it'll make all this plumbing stuff work out good. This wall is basically done. The last thing I need to do is put in a header. Now, again, this is not a structural wall, so I don't need to put jacks, and I don't need to put in a structural header. I can just do 1 2x4 on the flat like that. And then, since my split mini is going to go right here, I'm probably going to put some cripples in, maybe after. I don't know just yet. We'll see. It's going to be a pain to do that project. Now, if you were going to put a door here, you want to make sure that your rough opening is the correct size. If I do a door, it's going to be custom fit. It'll be many, many moons down the project road. You should have been a philosopher. You're so smooth with your words. 25.5. It should be 25. And the fuck happened? Oh, it's going to be so ugly. Just cut it 25 1/4 and we won't tell anybody. Now, a lot of the work I'm doing here is kind of like hackish, but I know ways of fixing it down the road so that you will never see this stuff. It doesn't matter. If you're not really comfortable with woodworking, I would really try to make this as perfect as possible. I will eventually show you tricks and stuff how to hide your hack mistakes. It's probably going to be the one complaint when people come in. I feel claustrophobic in your bathroom. It's too claustrophobic. How bad? Ah! It will eventually be 1.5 inches shorter. I need this number. It's really the important number. The washing machine. I need to Google that before I go too far forward. I'll probably put another 2x4 on top of this, and then I definitely need to put in 2 more studs here, which will hold the plate, which ends up holding the split mini duct. But I guess that can be mounted on the 3/4 plywood. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen here, but this is pretty much good to go, man. Again, this is not up to code in any way. I mean, a lot of it is code worthy, but if a building inspector came in and looked at this, he'd be like, nope, nope, nope. But it's not a structural wall. A building inspector probably wouldn't say no. I don't know. Sometimes you get like cult-like building inspectors. So right now I'm going to go and finish this plumbing so I can take a good shower. I also have to cut a piece of plywood for this hole here. I'm not going to fasten it down because I still have my split mini lines to run and also my propane lines. I'm going to run one line in here. It's going to tee off to here, tee off to the dryer, tee off to the stove, and possibly in the future I might get a propane refrigerator. Haven't done too much research on them, but I definitely want the option to be able to connect into that eventually. So I still need to do a lot of work under here, so I'm just going to temporarily cover this hole so I don't fall into it. So this has nothing to do with this video, but remember, hodgepodge of stuff. This whole series is. I need to make this pipe longer. So I'm going to cut it off, and I'm going to show you how to use this tool. So you want to cut it as close to that fitting as you can get it. Ah, you dirty. So you take these things. It's got like a radius one and then a pointed edge right here. You want that radius to go inside there and the pointed thing on the outside. You just squeeze it and it'll break it. And then I've noticed if I just go on the other side and slightly press it, it will bend up this fitting and it slides right off. Not ever, ever. Has it ever slid right off? Never has it. It never has. Now the ring comes off easy. This piece is kind of a pain to take off. I've just been taking my utility knife and cutting it free. Cut in right here. Drop. Whoa! Yeah, once you cut all the way through the pipe, it pops right off. Good. Now the color definitely doesn't matter on this, but technically it's going to be carrying warm water. I'll use red. Take this thingy, set my ring at the right height. You definitely don't need to hold it there. Once you crimp it, it's good. I just like to do that. So I'm going to screw this thing where it's got to go. So I got that mounted in. Now I'm just going to run this line up there, mount this thing in. Now, this thing, I believe, I call it a Wing 90, but I know it's not, because if you go to Lowe's, it's not called a Wing 90. But it's got an adapter here. This thread's in here. And there's 3 places to put screws. Now when you tighten these things down onto here, they don't always end up like you would want it to, because you want the pipe coming straight up and you want this thing to be arched down. But I did have this leak when I installed it over there, and I had to put some plumber's dope in there to make it stop leaking. So this time I tightened it down all the way, and I will mount it so that it makes this correct. So my pipe's gonna have to come up and then come back down, which will only cause a problem. It'll cause the pipe to drip when you shut the water off for a few seconds, but it's not an end of the world type thing. Could be though. Some people might die because of it. That was a little bonus for this video. So I'm going to finish that, but that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button wherever it may be, because they move it every like 6 months, but it should be down there. No, it should be over there. No, there. That's where it is. Hit that subscribe button. If you want to jump ahead and watch a whole bunch of videos, probably like 20 or 30 other videos where I am actually currently in my build, please go check me out on Patreon. The link for that is in the description below. I upload videos there as I finish them, so there's no like waiting game. You might get 5 videos in a week and then none next week, and then who knows. It's just way more content over there. So please go check me out on Patreon. $1 a month and you'll get awesome amounts of content. So please go check that out. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, comment your great knowledge down below, and I will see you on the next video. My nipples are rock hard right now. Rocks. They're like they could cut diamonds. They're so hard.